Welcome to Worlds Collide, a wrestling card podcast for wrestling fans by wrestling fans, featuring Tony Vella from WrestlingTradingCards.com.
This is like a stock market.
And Zhan Morning from Wrestling with Cards on YouTube. And I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer, I'm just posing the question. Join them as they navigate the world of wrestling cards, helping you build a bigger and better collection and making some money along the way. What's up, wrestling fans, trading card collectors? We're back again with another This Is Your Card segment. And Tony, I bet a lot of people were interested to see who we're talking about today. And we were just talking before we got on here about how do we come up with these names?
Well, sometimes we pick them ourselves.
Yes.
And other times we do what you just told me, which I didn't even know about.
Random wrestler name generator. You can Google it. You hit a button and it generates a random wrestling name. Whoever it lands on, as long as they've got wrestling cards, even if it's just one card, that's who ends up making it on our show. And today, of all people, Bad News Barrett, Wade Barrett, whatever you want to call him, not somebody we see talked about a lot in the wrestling card space. And I actually like that because for me, and when I'm looking at our topics today, I'm able to take the talent out of mind and focus on the card and what exactly, like the image, the release, the style. And I think a lot of times there are some, Hogan PMG, that's a prime example of, obviously I'm biased just because I love the card, but people don't like the card because of the image, or I don't like pink, I don't like purple, I don't like upper deck, I don't like a pack, something that's not pack pull. Like there's all these things. And I think with today's discussion, I'm personally able to take the talent out because they say that stuff because maybe they don't like Hogan, but I'm able to take Bad News out of the equation and just talk about how cool these cards are.
Yeah. It's because what we're talking about is just cards anyways. It's nothing to do with the talent per se as far as who they are in real life, just talking about the cards.
All right, trading card database, 397 total cards, not counting, well, I don't know actually if they count parallels or not, but that seems like a pretty good amount for a Bad News Barrett level talent.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about average, I would think. I wouldn't expect any much more than that or much less, maybe.
I just feel like this era of that he was in, like the 2010 to 2016 era of Topps, I feel like, and I know I'm probably not right on this, and I haven't done the research, so shame on me, but I feel like the amount of like just kind of products that are out there, I feel like they were more in that time period, 2010 to 15, 16. Like when people, 2020, 2021, Topps Chrome comes out, everybody's on it. Topps Transcendent, people are on it. Topps Finest, they're on it. But I feel like this era was like a whole bunch of like flagship style products that were just kind of different names, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and they just and some of them actually continuation of each other. It's like that with Road to WrestleMania and Heritage, that their flagship stuff. They put insert cards during that era too that were kind of in a continuation of the next release, like the best of Hulk Hogan's, like that, or the best of Ultimate War, whatever that case may be. So there were continuations in some cases too, like whether it be like a flagship WWE product was like 1 through 100, and then Road to WrestleMania became like 101 through 200. So two different releases, but they kind of tie in together, kind of thing. So, but a lot of stuff going on at that time frame, and he just seems to kind of like probably be featured on a lot of stuff, whether it be through Nexus, the Core, all that kind of stuff, and then his Bad News type era stuff is he was probably featured on a lot of stuff at that time. That's why that number is probably about right for him.
All right, so let's talk rookie card, first appearance card. We did have, I know you've got one that is different, or an additional one than mine, but 2010 seems to be the consensus year of his first card. Some actually say rookie. We'll get into that. But we both had the Topps Platinum. I am going to go with the gold auto because, well, first off, everybody likes gold, obviously.
Yeah.
The gold auto is numbered out of 25, which is the lowest numbered parallel that I could find in this release. And it's an auto, so everybody loves rookie autos. So that's my aspect. I know a lot of times when we have this discussion, you choose the base card, and then I go with the parallel. So anything you want to touch on that card before we get into that other one that you picked out?
No, I'm just going with the base. I don't oftentimes look at, or actually, I don't think I ever look at an autograph, a relic card. Anything outside the base card, to me, doesn't qualify as a rookie. So,
and I think that's fun because it's a interesting dynamic of, well, Tony, you disagree with my aspect of what I say is a rookie card. Worlds Collide podcast is shut down right now because you disagreed with me. I'm going to cry about it.
All right, that's end of it. Good run, folks. Talk to you later. Peace out.
All right, so let's
Yeah,
talk. Go
I've
ahead.
always believed that though. I've always believed that though. It's sort of the, is it not the Beckett definition anyways about rookies
You're
anyways,
correct. You're
that it
correct.
can't be a relic or an insert or this or that. It has to be the first card and a base set run. Da, da, da. So I've
Yeah,
kind of been, that mentality has always been my look at rookie cards. So
sure.
I don't think you can go wrong with anything you pick. If we're sticking with the platinum release, I guess anything that he's on in that platinum release, you can go ahead and say,
Great looking
well, that's why
cards.
a platinum set, like Chuckster and Paul turned me onto that set. Like this 2010 was during a time that I didn't collect anything at all at that time. Like I was aware of these cards. I knew they existed. We had information on WTC about them, but I didn't collect them. So I didn't really have them in my hand to kind of look at. But then when I got these sets from Chuckster last year, I'm like, wow, this is a really nice looking set. Like it's a really good looking set. And I like it a lot. So anything from that set with him on it, I guess it would be qualified as a rookie. But I take it one step further from that same year too. I added WWE Magazine put out an insert to I think it was an 18 card set insert, and he's the only one. It's like features 18 stars. 17 of them are like, future Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame. They're all future Hall of Famer sets. And he was listed as a future Hall of Fame, but his card even has the rookie notation on it.
There you go. Maybe that's the one.
So it's in the 2010 WWE Magazine set. You can go on WTC website, look under 2010 and find the WWE Magazine set. He's in that set, and it even says rookie right on the card.
All right. I think we've given you some good options there. So moving on to the best card, I'll start out 2015 Topps Chrome card number 4. And I say pick your parallel because that's always what I do. Go with a base card if you want, but I just think it's a cool image. I love that 2015 design. And there's a big collector base around 2014, 2015 Topps Chrome WWE. So
Yeah.
maybe, there's, if you want to look at it from a value perspective, maybe you've got that Wade Barrett or Bad News Barrett. Again, I don't remember what I get the eras of what his name is on the certain cards mixed up. So we'll just call him Wade Barrett for, example of talking about it. But let's say that there's somebody out there wanting to put together the entire run of 2015 Topps Chrome Golds, and you've got that Wade Barrett card. And, somebody might pay a pretty penny for that. I think that's something that people need to, like, the wrestling collectors are starting to think outside the box as far as like projects, sets, things they can put together to have fun. And I think, somebody might say, well, I've got this Wade Barrett gold. It's not worth very much, but there's aspects like that may start coming into play. So, but just this design, Topps Chrome, I love Topps Chrome always. And that's my pick.
Really good pick. I like that pick too. You can't go wrong with Topps Chrome products. I think it's always been a collector favorite, and even from the investor side, investors love Chrome. If it's shiny, it's money.
Right, 100%.
I picked a 2016 WWE flagship product, card number 25 from that one. I like the image on it. Design is decent, okay for me, I think, but it fits the character really well. It's when he was a King of the Ring, I guess. He's got the robe, he's got the crown, he's got the Spectre. It's just a cool image. It's a cool shot for me. I love that card. It's if I have to go look at other shots of him and other pictures, card design comes into play if I couldn't find anything decent from a picture standpoint. So then I kind of lean towards the design aspect of it. But this one I lean more towards the actual image being used, and I like that shot of him. It's just a cool looking shot.
Going to take a pause to talk about some actual wrestling for a minute. And we kind of do this, like it just kind of spawns organically when we're talking about this is your card. So this is another character where we've had Wade Barrett, like King Barrett, Bad News Barrett, like there's all these different variations. So do you have a preference when you're like, let's say you were collecting Dexter Loomis, okay? So you've got Loomis from the movie Good Burger, you've got that gimmick, and then you've got Robin Hood Loomis. So do you go after?
Hey, I've also got Dr. Loomis from the Halloween movies.
Okay, so do you go out and do you continue to collect all of those? Do you only collect certain things? Like that's kind of what I'm wondering as we're looking through these variations. And you could just say the same thing about like Baron Corbin.
I could, yeah. I mean, if I was like more into, and I'm a horror movie fan, so you would think that maybe I'd go after like the Halloween movie, which I'm pretty sure it's where his name is based off of. Obviously, it's
Yeah,
got Dexter, which is from the TV show Dexter, and I know that he's a horror movie fan because when he was on the Independents for a brief moment there, he was going by Hatchet. And then now he goes the Loomis aspect is Dr. Loomis, which was Donald Pleasant's character in the first two Halloween movies, who's trying to get to Michael Myers. So yeah, maybe I'd go after that just because it's kind of a cool little tie-in. But I think it'd be kind of cool to have like a Dr. Loomis from Halloween and then Dexter Loomis like together in a picture kind of thing, or maybe even in
I
Dexter have
agree.
the three like it's something kind of fun to do maybe. But
It's what I
um
said earlier. It's different ways of collecting, tying your
yeah,
interests together.
yeah, and it could be fun. I think we've talked about this before. I talked about it on one of the episodes, and I thought about doing it. I think off air we even looked it up, and there was a Halloween set that I can go after and had a cool image of Dr. Loomis. That
Yeah.
would be kind of cool. But
Maybe you
yeah, it's
take
fun.
maybe you take this card you're talking about, you pair it with a Jerry Lawler, you pair it with a Harley Race, you pair it with a King Corbin. Like there's
Yep.
all the kings. Like I don't know, there's
Sure.
just
Yeah,
all
yeah.
different kinds of things you could do if you just
That's a
start
fun
really
one
thinking
too.
about it. Yeah.
Or you go like, hey, I only collect those who were King of the Ring winners.
Another great one. Yep.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about the worst card. I'm going to kick things off. 2010 Topps Platinum. Now we just talked about how awesome Platinum
Wow.
was. Legendary Superstars with the British Bulldog. Why do I hate this card? Because how dare you put Wade Barrett on the same card as the British Bulldog? I mean, come on. And I've always hated dual superstar cards, but like I just again, I don't mean to like disrespect Wade Barrett, but come on, you're putting him on there on the same par as British Bulldog. Come on.
I feel you on that one.
I understand what
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
trying to do with
Yeah.
tying the two stars together, but it's just I was like, what?
They're both British.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
um for me, I went for the 2012 Top Slam Attacks from Rebellion release. Card number 16 is a really horrible picture of him with a really bad expression on his face. I think I said in my show notes, it looks like he stepped on some Legos. It's just
Yeah,
he looks like he's in pain, and although he's trying to be menacing, I don't know. It's a horrible image, not his best look. I'm gonna pass.
we keep talking about these horrible images. They keep seeming to because like mine that I picked, like it's not that it's that bad of an image. I just thought it was like this double-sided mesh up card with the bulldog. It's this horrible,
Yeah.
but for me, I'm wondering like we keep saying like this card has the worst image. Did you see his face? Why do they have a picture of his armpit? I'm almost wondering if at some point we should make like a Hall of Fame for the worst wrestling cards ever
Not a
made,
bad
and
idea.
if we did that, I guarantee you people would start collecting it.
I bet you're right.
Like
I think
just
we should do that.
another way to have fun. We'll kind of put a pin in that and see what we can do.
I like that.
Moving on to the cards we would create. Do you want? I'll just let you kick things off.
I'm going to be very simple with mine and just do an auto relic. But with my relic though would be a piece of the mallet from when he just says, "I have some bad news."
I've got an
just
I've got an idea of way you to do it too. Have you seen the baseball relics with the bat knobs?
that's exactly how I was thinking, envisioning it
100%.
actually.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, and it would be nice if that bottom part piece was actually autographed.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
actually what you said is I have some bad news. If that was actually
Yep,
like big impact font all the way across like the card,
that'd
man,
be so cool.
I would like I'm not even the biggest fan of this guy, and I would want that card because of what it is. Like,
Yeah,
make it a 1 of 1 or something.
that'd be
And
so cool. Well, you can have two. That mallet has two sides.
there you go. Yeah. So make two. Like there's just so much fun stuff that um I would want that card, even though I'm not a big fan, because again, I'm taking the talent out of it, even though I know the talent ties back to what's in the relic and the whole bad news and everything. But it's just the card itself is so unique that it would
It's the
be cool to
uniqueness of the
own.
piece.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going with the
Pretty,
auto triple relic. I love anytime, if you the I know there was the Kevin Nash TNA one that was floating around with had all his different autos.
yep.
I love that stuff for some reason. So with this one, I went with a triple auto, triple relic. We're going to start off with Wade Barrett with a jacket piece, Bad News Barrett with a gavel piece, just kind of
Yep.
like how you did, and then King Barrett with an actual piece of the metal crown.
That'd be
So
nice.
we've heard it talked about, and we've seen people talk about why can't you put pieces of old championship belts and cards? And I think this kind of what we've talked about would be those thicker cards, putting some really cool relics, and maybe Panini starts doing that at some point. I don't know, but it would be cool to see.
It would be cool, like for the belt stuff like that. If you had a belt and you just took a replica belt and say it's the winged eagle belt, something like that, heavyweight, and you just have like they're all one of one pieces where that belt becomes a piece of everybody who's ever held that particular title.
Yep.
That'd be
Sounds
cool.
like a good impeccable style release.
Yeah, yeah.
So moving on, just thoughts on Wade Barrett, King Barrett, Bad News Barrett, whatever you want to call him. I'll just take this first, and maybe it'll kind of give you a jumping point if you want to speak on anything. I think this is, once again, a talent that maybe a lot of people have forgotten. Maybe they like, maybe they don't like. I'm going to go two different ways with this. I think this is a good type of talent that somebody can say, I remember, becoming a wrestling fan when he was winning the King of the Ring, or I remember when he was in Nexus and he did this, and I remember first seeing that. I'm going to become a super collector. I think this is the type of talent that is really fun to do that with, because you're going to be able to find, I would say, 75% of his 300 and some odd cards that are released. You're going to be able to find those at a very affordable price. Whereas if you a lot of people just jump in, I want to be an Andre the Giant collector, I want to be a Seth Rollins or a Hulk Hogan or Cody Rhodes, and those prices are going to cost you a lot more. But with a talent like this, you're going to be able to get the chrome refractors, you're going to be able to get some of the one-of-ones, you're going to be able to get some of those things potentially for a fraction of the cost of the same ones you see touted on social media, but you have the exact same card, just a different name.
I'd love to see someone actually do that. Actually, it'd be kind of cool if someone just took a name like that, started collecting them, made it known on social media that this is what they're and what you might even create a demand now for that person. Like, hey, I actually like Wade Barrett too. I'm gonna go after Wade Barrett stuff as well. Like, maybe you might start something by doing that.
Right. Yeah, I think it's just a different outside of the box way to think about. And the other thing I think is, again, just the cards themselves. Like, they see these platinum cards and they're like, I want the whole set. Or they see, any type of relic, and they can tie it back to an event that they were at, or something. It's again more about the card than the actual talent. And a couple episodes ago, we talked about how I'm actually going to try to go after potentially some of the AEW PMGs, if they have pink or purple, to go with the ones I have. And it's not because of the talent on the card. It's because of the nostalgia and attachment I have to my other PC cards that range these PMGs that I've just started. And I think it kind of puts a bow on this whole show, this kind of an unexpected episode today of different ways of collecting and how you can continue to have fun and have pieces of, like, everybody sees one-of-ones or superfractors and they're like, I want to own that. Well, you just kind of have to look in different avenues, different ways of doing things.
When we do these episodes of This Is Your Car, we oftentimes end up coming up with other ideas for, like, oh, this would be a unique way to, like, this particular character had this going on for them. Oh, you know what? Other guys were doing kind of something like that too. That'd be kind of a cool collection to go after. Like, again, maybe your PC becomes like, I'm a big fan of the whole King of the Ring type of thing, and I'm going to go after everybody who was a winner of the King of the Ring, and that kind of thing.
Yep, and try to get a matching card of some sort, or maybe find the card of the year they won that, or something
like that. Or I'm going to collect the last two superstars in the finals of every King of the Ring fight. I'm going to match those together, kind of thing.
Great idea.
It'd be a fun project. That'd be a fun project.
Very affordable too, for the most part, when you start digging. So, hopefully we can continue to find these extra talking points as we go through the cards on This Is Your Card episodes, which people seem to love. So, and now you know the answer of where do we get these names? Well, it could be we come up with them. It could be a listener request, which if you guys have a request, please reach out on social media. Let us know who you want us to talk about. Or it could be the random wrestler generator. Next time we do this, it could be Bull Nakano. It could be Crash Holly. You just never know what's going to
happen. Could be.
All right, Tony, let everybody know where they can find you.
WrestlingTradingCards.com. All of our social media accounts are found on the bottom of every single page of the website. Check them out, man. Feel free to hit us up if you got questions. We'll do our best to answer, or at least direct you to somebody who can help you out with that, because we're all about educating and helping people out. So in the hobby. So let us know how we can help you.
Speaking of that, I want to continue to promote Wrestling Trading Cards YouTube, WTC TV.
Oh yeah.
Information. Great interviews with card creators. Adam is on there putting out a lot of great content with a lot of good guests now. You and Paul doing the monthly recap, I've always said, is like one of my best.
It's probably my favorite thing to do.
Yes.
Anytime I get to be on with Paul and talk cards like that, he is definitely my brother from another mother. And I really enjoy talking cards with him. I cannot stress enough what a wonderful human being he is, but also the information he provides on his website, which is the Wrestling Card Price Guide. I highly recommend checking him out. We work together all the time to better both of our websites to make sure we're trying to be as consistent as possible. Him with the price guiding information, me with the more detailed information and checklists. So it's to benefit the hobby, to help the hobbies like that. And I can't think of a better 1-2 punch than those two websites to help people out with within this hobby.
Well, and one reason I like to watch, obviously you guys are giving good information on your monthly recaps, but I like when you guys, like, you don't argue, but maybe you disagree on something. Maybe Paul's got a strong take on a personality in the hobby. Maybe you're like, well, hold on there, Paul. This is how it's at. You know, like the fact that you guys can actually have a discussion, and whether you agree, you can keep talking about it. And everybody that watches this learns, because you're presenting different perspectives, which is what is all this content's always about.
We're growing up enough to know that we can have different that we can have different opinions on things and still remain friends, and still not have to go outside and publicly shame ourselves for like our opinions like that. We just continue to learn from each other, and hopefully help the hobby, like you said, with that information, and help them make their own decisions on how they want to pursue the hobby. So,
well, I mean, we already almost blew up this podcast by disagreeing on the Bad News Barrett rookie card earlier.
Of course. I mean, hey,
we may be here next week, we may not. It just depends on who blocks who on Twitter first.
Damn near caused me to just hang up on you, man. I just can't have this hostility. It's just not going to work for me.
All right, I better get out of here real quick. At Zhan Morning, all social platforms, Wrestling with Cards on YouTube, Wrestling with Cards, the solo podcast. And as of this moment, this may be it. We keep saying it, but Tony's disagreeing me on rookie cards. I just can't have it. I just can't do it. So this may be the last episode, but hopefully you enjoy this episode. Please subscribe for all the other past episodes if there's not any more after this one. Share this on social media. Let us know what wrestlers you want to talk about. You want us to talk about next time for This Is Your Card, if we have another This Is Your Card. And share this with a friend. Just engagement.
Yeah, I mean, we disagreed, and I don't know where to go from here. I know that no matter what, wrestling cards are still going to rule.
Correct, sir. Absolutely. We'll see you.